Hey, y'all, hey, and welcome back to another amazing episode of the You're Not Done Yet podcast where purposeful conversations happen. Okay. Let's just start this episode off by saying that y'all, the spiritual warfare has been real. It feels like there has been so many things just being like thrown at me left and right. And right now I am doing my best to stay strong. I'm doing my best to keep my head held high. But if I have to be honest, there are some things that I am like, it's starting to like wear me down a little bit, right? So I just wanted to share that tidbit with you. But today we're talking about, have you really surrendered it to God? Like, have you really surrendered what it is that is bothering you, that's keeping you up, that's worrying you? Like, have you really surrendered it? And I'm gonna be real with y'all. Surrendering everything has always been something that is like really, really hard for me. And I'm pretty sure other people can attest to this too, because when you are so used to, you're being independent and like, you're used to figuring everything out, or like having a way to maneuver so things can get taken care of and things can get done, but when you are really in that place where all you can do is lift your hands up and it's like, okay, God, like, it's yours, like whatever it's yours. I find that we surrender maybe 75% of it, maybe 50% of it, and we are holding on to that other 50% or whatever is left over because we feel like we can figure it out quicker than God can, better than God can. And we just have a way of knowing, like, well, okay, well, I'm going to still try to help God focus this thing. I'm still going to help God try to like move this thing along faster, right? And again, I know that I have an issue with that. And knowing that as believers, like, we're supposed to be able to just, surrender, have faith. But for some of us, it doesn't come that quick or come as natural as it should be, right? Because again, like, we're so used to figuring it out or thinking that we're the ones figuring out, but all along is God's plan that is prevailing. He's moving things along and eventually it's going to work out. And I would say like the art of surrender is a beautiful thing, because it's like once you surrender, that's where God's grace meets you at. Like, that's where God is able to like step in and show up and show out and do the things that he wants to do in your life. And so my question this week is just, have you really surrendered? Like, have you really prayed? Have you read your Bible? Have you put it all at God's feet and you are watching him work? Like, you are having faith and trusting that by me laying it at your feet, I know that you're going to do what needs to be done in this situation, right? And the art of surrender is something I feel like we're going to go through our whole lives, right? Because it's like we trust God, we have faith in God. But again, for some of us, there's that little inkling like, all right, God, now I'm going to give it to you 100%, and I need you to come through and I need you to do it. But I think sometimes when we surrender, we are expecting for something to happen like right then and there. But even in the surrender, there is a wait process. I feel like sometimes, like not all the time, like sometimes when you surrender that thing and God will send something right after you surrender, right? But then in some cases, it's like, okay, you surrender, but I'm going to see if you believe in the surrender. I'm going to see if you are really going to take your hands off of the surrender. Like, if you're going to surrender it and go about your business and do what you need to do. And right now, in my season or in my situation right now, like, as a lot of you guys know, like, I'm in law school right now. And y'all know that not working and going to school can be um challenging, right? But it's like, okay, God, like, you sent me here to do this, so I have to trust you in that. I have to surrender it all to you. And I'm not gonna lie, like something in me is like, okay, girl, well, you need to go get a job. You need to go do this, you need to go do that. But then there's also something that is telling me, like, no, sit still, focus on the things that you need to focus on, which is the podcast, which is, the things that you're doing, the content and everything, like, focus on that. And it was crazy because like when I first lost my job, I remember like walking upstairs to my room. Well, I'm sorry, coming downstairs, and I remember God saying like, regardless of what happens, trust me. Like regardless of what happens, trust me. And when I tell y'all that trusting God is not easy, but I feel like in that season of surrender, like in this season of surrender, I am learning so much more about myself, and I'm learning how to be still and sit in the quietness and just be able to sit in the word. And even if that means like I read me a verse, I journal and I keep it moving. But it's something about being in that quiet place and being in that secret place with God that doesn't make surrendering feel or seem so drastic. Like it doesn't make it feel like so heavy. And that is one thing that God is dealing with me on. Like he's dealing with me on the art of surrender. But I've noticed that like in the past, like once I really truly fully surrender it to God, that is when God starts to move, because like, okay, she surrenders, she believes me, she's having faith in me, knowing that I'm going to get this done, right? And I think the thing about surrendering as well is that you don't know where it's gonna come from. You don't know where it's gonna come from. You don't know how the bill's gonna get paid. You don't know how that thing is gonna move that you're believing in God, and like you don't know how the job is gonna come or when it's gonna come. You don't know nothing. All you know is that, okay, God, I surrendered this to you. I'm trusting in you. I have faith in you. Like I know you're going to come through in due timing, but even in then, like you have to be preparing yourself. Like, are you preparing yourself in the surrender as well? Like, are you doing what you're supposed to do? Like, are you being obedient? Have you forgiven? Have you apologized? Have you reached out to that person that you need to talk to? Have you made yourself so available to God that when you hear his voice, you don't question it? When things come your way, you're not questioning how the thing got there or whatever the case may be. And I know for me, like I've always been a stickler or a hard on for like, I don't want nobody doing nothing for me. Like it is a blessing to have a village and a community of people who don't mind stepping in when they need to. But me personally, I never want to be the one to use that like as a crutch, right? Like I would rather just figure it out, you know what I mean? But I feel like in this season is definitely like God and me season. Like this is definitely something that, of course, like I prayed for, but wasn't expecting for it to like unravel and unfold like this. Like y'all, the things that have been taking place over these past couple of weeks has just been mind blowing. Like the spiritual warfare has just been like super real. Like the enemy is trying to attack my mind and just telling me like things are not gonna happen. You need to give up. Like your resources, they're depleting. Like everything around you is starting to crumble. But then there's something else in me that is just like you're so close to what it is that God has for you. And I feel like surrendering in that aspect too is that I know that when I surrender, like I am going to possibly face something as I am in the surrender, because this is God testing my faith. This is God saying, okay, you surrender it to me, even when all this like all these other things are like happening around you, you still surrender to me. You still are moving, like you're still doing the things, you're still showing up, like you're still doing the mundane, even though all hell is breaking loose around you. But that is what surrendering is. Surrendering is like, regardless of my circumstances, regardless of how I feel, regardless of how I'm looking right now, I surrender it all to you, because I know that in your hands it can't go wrong. Like I know that in your hands, like you're going to hold it all together. And I think sometimes when we get in that posture or that standard of surrendering, it's like we don't want to wait for the blessing. We don't want to wait for the breakthrough because we're expecting for it to come automatically, like it's going to be microwave. But I feel like in the waiting, you're building up your repertoire, like you're building up your skills, like you're building up the things that you need to have in order for that blessing to come, in order for that thing that you're asking God for to show up. And that saying is that God only puts more on you than you can bear, but God is not going to give you the blessing before you're ready. And I always think about, okay, like, well, God, like, I could use this blessing right here, I could use a financial blessing, I could use this. And God is like, yeah, I hear you, but I'm always going to make sure that you have enough. I'm always going to make sure that you're provided for. I'm always going to make sure you have what you need. So there's nothing to be anxious about. But just knowing that when you surrender it to me, leave it. Leave it. Leave it at my feet. Leave it at my feet. Leave it at my feet and go about your business because you have surrendered it. Right. And the thing is, too, God isn't going to go against our free will, but God is going to sit back and she's like, okay, well, she says she surrendered it to me, but yet she's still trying to figure out what her next move is, when all I'm asking her to do is just be still and know that I am God. Be still and wait. Be still and know that whatever it is, I'm going to make sure that you have what you need. When y'all in the season of trusting and surrendering, it don't look like that when you're going through it. It don't look like that when you're going through it. But that is just as real as it can get. Because sometimes, like, as you're going through and like you talk to your folks, like you talk to your community, you talk to your spiritual leaders and your spiritual advisors, and you talk to the people who are around you that that are connected to God as well. And they say things like, it's going to be all right, like it's going to be okay, like you're going to be fine, and keep pressing, keep going, like it's going to get better. But y'all know, in the thick of it, baby, that's not what it feel like. In the thick of it, that's not what it feels like, because it feels like, God, I'm surrendering, like I've given it to you, I'm surrendering. Why ain't nothing happening? But just knowing that there is a work going on the inside of you that you can feel but you can't see, but eventually is going to manifest itself on the outside. And I think sometimes surrendering means doing the inside work as well. Like, you're building up your faith, you're building up your trust, you're building up your endurance and your resilience as you are making your way through this season or making your way through this test, right? Like, you are embarking on something that a lot of people tend to quit when the going gets tough. And I'm not gonna hold y'all. One scripture that has been near and dear to me in this season as well, and it just like came to light like a week ago, is Galatians 6:9, where it says, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." If we don't give up, we will reap the harvest that is due to us if we don't give up and don't get weary in well doing. And again, that's easier said than done. That's easier said than done, because y'all, when I tell you that I am having to continue to speak life into myself each and every day when I wake up, because that's sometimes how heavy that it's getting. Like, it's getting like, okay, God, like I'm praying, like I'm doing all of these things, I'm moving forward, I'm keep pressing, like I'm doing it. But it's like it don't feel like nothing else is moving with me doing what I'm supposed to do. But also knowing is that just because we don't see things moving don't mean it's not moving. Because again, do you trust me? Do you surrender it all to me, knowing that I am going to come through and do what needs to be done for you? Do you believe that? Do you believe that I'm going to come through and do what it is that I said that I'm going to do? And surrendering is an art. Like, it is an art to surrender, because like I said in the beginning, some of us, it doesn't happen right away. Like, some of us, we have to be hard-headed and fall on our butts and then give it to God, where it should be when trouble arises or something happens, you give it directly to him and you keep on moving about your business. And not saying that you're not going to be upset, not saying that you're not going to be frustrated, not saying that you are not going to feel what you feel, because we are humans. We are spirits having a human experience. Okay. So, not saying that you're not going to get upset, But one thing that I'm learning too is that either I'm gonna dwell in my me being upset and in my anger, or I'm gonna pray about it, I'm gonna put a word to, and I'm gonna move on. And again, I know that's easier said than done when you are in the thick of it. I know. But think about the people that are waiting for you to get through this season. Think about the people who are waiting for you to surrender it all to God so He can show up and do something in your life, so that you can be a testimony and a testament to who God is for you and what He has done for you, so that you can be of encouragement to someone else. And one thing that I've always learned to and heard, that we don't go through things for ourselves, we go through things for other people. So in the surrendering, you're surrendering so someone else can know to surrender as well, so that they can surrender their issues and their problems and their grievances or whatever they have. Like, you're not just doing it for you. And then it's like we're not supposed to complain, but we're supposed to find joy in all things. But the more and more that you continue to try to figure it out, even though it's not for you to understand, the more and more that you're pushing back what God is trying to do. And eventually God gonna be like, okay, girl, like, all right, now I done had you at level 5. Now I'm gonna take it to a level 10 for you to really do what I'm asking you to do. Surrender. That's it. Period. Just surrender and let me do what I'm supposed to do. So surrendering it's not easy. It's not easy by no means. It's there. It's not easy, but it's worth it. It's doable. You can continue to seek God. You can continue to, stay in that quiet place, in that secret place, and really just listen for instruction. And even in the surrender, He's going to give you the strength that you need. He's going to renew you. He's going to restore you. He's going to do those things that you have been praying about, but you have to fully surrender it to Him. You have to. So this week, I just want you to ask yourself, have you fully surrendered it all? Have you fully surrendered everything that is weighing on you? Have you surrendered it? Or do you still have some of it tucked away so you feel like you can help God do what He needs to do? Because technically, you can't help God do what God only can do. you you can't help Him do what only He can do. He don't need your help. He just needs you to be obedient. He needs you to have faith. He needs you to trust. He needs you to be steadfast. He needs you to do the things that He has called you to do, and just knowing and praying that He is going to handle the rest. So think about that. Think about the surrendering. And also want to remind you, as well as I reminded myself, like, don't get weary in the well doing. Like, don't get weary in the praying because you think nothing is happening. Don't get weary in the fasting because you don't think anything is happening. Don't get weary in the showing up. Don't get weary in the forgiving. Don't get weary. And y'all, I'm preaching to myself. Don't get weary, because that's what the enemy wants. The enemy wants you to get so weary to where you turn your back on God and you stop believing, and you figure out, okay, well, I'm going to do this on my own. And then you get yourself in such a bind that only God can get you out if you would have just sat still and surrendered the first time. And that's my biggest thing for me in this season too. I don't want to go ahead of God. I don't want to go ahead of Him. I want to walk right behind Him. I want Him on the side of me, the front and the back of me. Okay. But it takes time. The art of surrender, it takes time. And but the more and more that you're growing your faith, it's gonna come like clockwork. Like, when something ain't working out, okay, God, here you go. Move on to the next thing. Oh, here goes something else. Okay, God, here you go. Move on to the next thing. Because you have to condition yourself to know that the things that are happening around you are happening for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even though it don't feel like it, I say that all the time, even though it don't feel like it, things are happening for you, not to you, but for you. So just remember that. Like, just remember to put one foot in front of the other and keep pressing. And one thing that I also heard yesterday as I was on my walk is that there are no battleless blessings. Don't think that you're going to ask God for a blessing and a battle is not going to come right behind it. Come before it or come right when, you know what I'm saying? Don't think that. But just continue to have faith, continue to stay strong, continue to do the things that you know to do, and just watch God work. Watch God work. yeah, that's all we have for this week on this episode. I just want to say thank you guys so much for people for the faithful followers that tune in every week. We are back. I am getting back consistent. Last week I had finals, so I just was not worried about doing the podcast, but we're back this weekend. We'll continue to be consistent here. But yeah, so make sure you do us a favor. Follow us on Instagram at You're Not Done Yet Pod. And make sure you follow me, your host that is Andrea B on Instagram. And I will see you next week. Stay safe, stay strong, stay prayed up, stay faithful. Okay.